I appreciate your comment about keeping civility. We've always had there are always some hecklers in the crowd. That's okay. But I hope that you understand that there are some really serious issues that are facing. I don't have all the answers. I'm doing the best I can. And I look for your guidance. I try to keep things in perspective because I saw what happened in the last couple of weeks, and it hurts me as much as when you hear when the stock market crashed like it has done for the last few days. To think of $2 trillion has been lost in our economy. To people that's their pension, that's their 401k, that's their retirement plans. We don't need to have that in America where people are worried about that anymore. But that's what's facing us right now. We've got to remove that doubt that's in everyone's mind. And then you couple that, keeping things in perspective, 30 Navy SEALs were killed over the weekend. Not just crashed. Someone hurt them, deliberately tried to attack and hurt America and blew 30 men out of the sky. No. We've got to stand for our people and just keep things in perspective. We can be in a nice hot room down here, but there are people standing on the wall that are defending us across this world. They're out there making sure that we sleep well at night. And it's so important for us to watch whatever happens in this budget. That we watch what happens in our defense. The men that are guarding us. I want to make sure that at the end of the day, that they've done their job. We make sure that they've been taken care of. So I could go on with this, but let's start with some questions. I don't know who always got what question. You were supposed to write a card down, and if you got more, please get it to the mayor, and we'll try to answer some of your questions. Mayor, card.
All right, can you hear us? Just so everyone knows, there was over 30-some questions, and so we have about till 7:30. So if we don't get to your question, I apologize. I'm going to do them in order the way they were given. Congressman, because so much of our revenue is needed for our debt service, when will we start reducing the debt?
Obviously, we won't be eliminating the debt until we get back to a balanced budget. Our first is to get it back and just get it under control, because it's going to continue to grow. We're not going to do it overnight. We cannot, as a nation, we can't cut $1.5 or $1.6 trillion out and be back to a balanced budget tomorrow. Our seniors, our workers, that ain't going to happen. So we're going to have to phase that in. It's going to have to be done. I hope it can be done. Tooney out of Pennsylvania had it done in 9 years. That might be maybe that's the number that we can use. Something like by the year 2020 we get to a balanced budget. When we get to a balanced budget, then we're going to be able to start paying that down. But we've got to show the discipline. So it's going to take a while. Our debt is going to increase until we get back to a balanced budget. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. What happened to the 3-day notice of bills before voting on them?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I got to tell you, it was violated one time. It was violated one time. So far, we have voted in the House. I got a kick. I was at Joe Manchin over the weekend, and Joe was talking about what they were doing in the Senate. And I had to kid him a little bit about it. We've been in the House. We have voted over 800 times. I don't think they voted 100 times yet. And he was talking about how in the Senate they get polling data. They get twice a day. They're updated with polling information. And maybe that's the problem. You're worried about polls rather than doing something over there. But what we had to do on this debt retirement or debt reduction because we had a deadline coming up. We had to do it, so we broke that. We only had a 2-day, but everything up to this part, the House has remarkably held to that 3-day rule. And they also do some other things that are important. As you and I talked about, every bill has to have a provision as to where in the Constitution is it provided for, and how are you going to pay for it. So that's what we promise people, and over in the House, we're trying to hold that. We're holding it. So it has a constitutional provision, and it has how we're going to pay for it. And we're trying to say that a 3-day provision. Unfortunately, we didn't. We made it. We couldn't do it. We couldn't fit it in if we were going to make that juicy deadline for the debt. Go ahead.
Thank you. How can we get rid of Holder before he sues West Virginia on illegal alien arrests?
Want to know the answer on that one. I mean, what a shame. They've got an issue in Arizona with illegal immigration, and they come up with a plan. The government sues a state that's trying to protect its own borders. And what was the other state that it happened in down south? Alabama, same thing there. They go after it. I don't know. I'm hoping, Mayor, 2012 will give us an opportunity to see a different hole in that position.
Why is the party leadership so opposed to eliminating subsidies to big oil and others? And why did Congress cave in and not get a balanced budget amendment? And that one was signed by Jared.
Let's take one step at a time there. The big oil subsidies, yeah, shame on them. I think there is strong interest in Congress to eliminate the subsidies on oil. Okay? But we have to also be cognizant there is something, there was a slide here. Over here, let me see if I can use this. I can tell you, grab it, yeah, please, on that one. This was a congressman from Arizona put together these 4 slides. But I thought, I watched him do a presentation on the floor, and I thought, oh, that's kind of, there we go, it's up there. But it was interesting. I said, we could use something like that because I think it helps to demonstrate visually for people what it is. So what we're working from on this is a 24-hour clock. So with the fact that there's 4.7 billion in new daily, that's how much we're borrowing every day. Okay? If you eliminated the oil company incentives, all it would be was 2.2 minutes. Think about it. Just 2.2 minutes. Here are some other ones that, and they're okay. It may be cumulatively that's the way we're going to get it because we have to make these reductions. I'm okay with that. We look at this one about the corporate jets. They're still paying the tax. It's just a rapid depreciation. But again, I don't want to defend it. But if you take it off, on the big scheme of things, every day that we're borrowing, it only represents 15 seconds. 15 seconds. And then further with it, if you look at the Bush tax cuts that are demonized, I'm okay if those are the kinds of things we have to make the changes to. I don't want to do that necessarily because it's going to affect too many people in middle income that are going to have a tax increase. I don't want to see that. But the whole scheme of it, if you look at it, if you look at all the tax, if you expired every one of the Bush tax cuts, 28 minutes out of a 24-hour clock. Folks, but we need to watch the rabbit. Don't chase the wrong rabbit because there's still 23 and a half hours on that clock. And we've just done away with all the things that have been demonized. Look at the rabbit. The rabbit's in other expenses. We can do away with these, and we're probably going to make some adjustments with it. I think that the beauty is going to be in this select group that they're going to put together some different changes with it. I don't know. Yeah. So I answered. Yes, there's 2 parts.
The second part is why did Congress cave in and not get a balanced budget amendment?
I'm careful now, Mayor. The Congress didn't cave. The Senate did. Okay. The House has passed a balanced budget. And we sent it to the Senate, and they killed it.
No.
No. We think maybe they didn't hear. We're giving 2 more chances at the ball. You know, it's like baseball. They swung one and missed it. So we're giving 2 more swings at the bat. And we got a deal. That's part of this debt retirement issue. They have to vote twice. We're going to give them 2 versions. And we want them to have a chance. Because we know balanced budget is where we have to be. Now, there are all kinds of provisions. We could get into it about what do we do about military conflict. There are exemptions with it, so we can take care of that. If you go to war, the balanced budget doesn't come into effect. In the meantime, if it's regular, we've got to get it back to where that is. If 49 of our states can operate on balanced budgets, we should be able to do much the same thing. Okay? So we're moving in that direction, and again, I'm proud I'm a co-sponsor of both of those bills to be able to have that. I want to see the people, look, there's no assurance if it goes to the American public it's going to be adopted. But I'm willing to give the people a voice. This is America. Give them a chance to vote. If they don't want it, then turn it down. But I got a sneaky feeling if that thing goes to the American public, it's going to be adopted overnight. You're going to see the 38 states.
What is being done about these